Hi, Tony.
Hi, Sai. Thank you so much for having me again on your great show. I am very honored to be here. I'm glad your audience liked it. I understand that you got a lot of visitors and audience from the last interview. I'm happy to do it again, and um, let's see if we can help your audience and give more information. What would you like to talk about today?
So, firstly, thank you again, Tony, for giving me your valuable time. And I thought to tell about you and your work to my audience in detail. Can you please introduce yourself again to my new audience?
My name's Tony DUrso. I am a host of the Tony DUrso Show. It's the number one talk show on Voice America, and I am also nationally syndicated on U.S. radio stations. And last month we beat the sound barrier. You know, you've heard of the sound barrier, Mach 1, Mach 2. Well, we beat the sound barrier with 25 million all-time listens of my show, so I'm very pleased and honored that it's growing so nicely. We help entrepreneurs, people that are starting up, people that have small businesses. We help them with great guests. So that's what we do, and it seems to be working well. A lot of people like the show.
So, can you tell more about Voice America?
Voice America has been around 20 something years, I think, and it is an internet streaming internet radio that streams on radio and on the internet worldwide. And about a year after I was doing my at the beginning when I was doing revenue chat radio, I got invited to join Voice America, and I thought it would be good for my career, so I switched onto their platform. And if you're looking at hosting on a good platform, it's really good. They take care of all the little things for you as a podcaster. If you this is the music, the introduction, the commercial breaks, the ending of the show, they take care of all these little things and put your show together. They even record it for you if you want. I record my own though. And they've got very good prestige, very good distribution, and it's really really nice to be with them. I've been on them. I'm thinking four something years now, 4 maybe 5 years. It's been a while, and I'm very pleased. And they're very pleased with me. I've been their number one show for several years running. I'm very honored.
So, that's amazing. Can you tell your connection with Voice America?
My connection, my connection with Voice America. I'm not quite sure I understand the question exactly. With what do you mean by my connection? Um,
Your contribution.
My contribution is really I just give them a weekly show. My show broadcasts every Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific on Voice America. And it's so routine that I don't even think about it. It's just years. I just submit my show and they do everything. Um, and sometimes they've written about me in their newsletter. They put some of my shows on their TV, on their new TV network. Um, and I think what I contribute to them is just more listeners, more volume, and they're very pleased with it. I think it's kind of pretty simple. And now we're talking, this is years of growth. So it's just, don't even think about it so much. You plant a seed and then it grows into a tree and there you go. You just let it keep going.
So, what do you think that made things possible for you?
I had a friend, and I'm not even sure how I met him. And he invited me to an event about 5 years ago. And I didn't know what to expect. And he said, just come on by and just check it out. So I went to this event. And what I decided was I was going to be involved. And I sat down at the front entrance and I helped sign in all the guests. And I just worked the back scene and I just helped as I could. And there I met the CEO of Voice America. Now, if I didn't have that friend, and if he didn't invite me to the event, and if I didn't go there and work it, just I didn't ask for anything. I just worked it. I just helped. I just did what I could to help out at the front entrance, and I met so many great people. And one of them was the CEO of Voice America, and he would come out periodically and because he smoked, and he would go to the front of the building and have a cigarette. And I saw it as an opportunity. I would go out there and chat with him. And so every time he came out for a cigarette, I would go out also with him and chat with him. And in doing so, I got to know him. He got to know me. And he said he was putting together a new channel at Voice America called the Influencers Channel. And I told him I was interested, and every time he went out for a cigarette, I was there. Every time I was there. And it was just like a conversation that spanned over a couple hours. And eventually, the result was when he created the new channel, I got invited to join and become a part of the Voice America team. And I did that and just started learning this and that and all the stuff. And they were and are so good to me. It's amazing. And that's how I got into Voice America, and I've been there with them for years.
So you take interviews of the people who are into uh, different businesses.
I didn't understand the question exactly.
You take interviews of people who are into different
Oh,
works, different professions.
yes. What I did when I started Revenue Chat Radio, which was the very, very, very beginning, I just interviewed entrepreneurs. I didn't know where to go, what to do, who to do. I came from a different industry. I never met people. I didn't know people. I didn't know where to go, and I thought, oh, let's interview business people. Okay, I'll interview business people. And so once I got into Voice America, I realized that I should, and it also happened because of the guests I was getting. I was just getting guests more well known and more famous and more well known, and I thought this is my niche. I'm interviewing people at the top of their category, at the top, not just somebody brand new that says, "Hey, I've got a great idea. Let's get on your show." That's fine too. There's podcasts for that. But I interview people, and it's been something that I've gone into over the years. It's interviewing people at the top of their category, whom I call elite entrepreneurs. And these are people, they're well known in their industry, they're millionaires, they're billionaires. Now, it didn't start at first getting billionaires, but now I interview millionaires, billionaires, and in their circles, they're known. They're well known in their circles. And not always, but they usually have a large social media following if they're an influencer. And they're all fields of life, all fields of work, all fields of business. And we talk about, well, first of all, how they started and the roots. And then we go into how did they become successful in what they do. And they tell their story and they talk about what they're successful in doing. Like I just interviewed somebody who was the CEO of Mars. Take a look at Mars, MARS, Mars Incorporated. It's a huge worldwide $1 billion organization. I interviewed him. I interviewed the CEO, the former CEO. I interview, uh, Frank Shankwitz, Make a Wish Foundation. He's got a movie out on him. Kevin Harrington, the original Shark Tank legend. Uh, I interviewed separately the gentleman that wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul series, which have sold more books than the Bible. The Chicken Soup for the Soul series. Though, um, just to show their notoriety, not that they're better than anything, but just these are people that have gone up. I've interviewed Wesley Snipes, the actor, Jeff Hoffman of Priceline, the billionaire. I've interviewed these people, and it doesn't have to be a billionaire. It's just somebody at the top of their category who's climbed up. And my audience loves hearing about the success of others and how they've made it. And there's advice, there's wisdom, there's tips, there's guidance, there's all sorts of help that they get. So whether you're starting out as an entrepreneur, you're a small business owner, or you're struggling, or even if you've made it and you have a sustainable business, there's such great information in these interviews, in these weekly interviews for you, and you just learn about all sorts of things. And it's, you don't necessarily know from the title, but these are people sharing a piece of wisdom of a business. If you think of a circle or a pie of all this knowledge you need HR, you need technical, you need to know how to do websites and graphics and shoot photographs, and you need to know how to hire and leadership, and you need all these little pieces. Well, you wouldn't tell by the title of my interview, but when you start getting into it, you just learn from somebody who's success. There's no faking it till you make it. These people have made it. They're set for life, and this wisdom and knowledge that they're sharing is just absolutely amazing.
So, what is the process of your interviewing? I mean, your interviewing style.
My style is really different. I think it's very different. And what I mean by that, Sai, is I've watched many podcasts and listened to many videos, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And there's something that I think some interviewers do incorrectly. I'm not going to point fingers at anyone. You are a model interviewer. Why? Because just like you, when I bring a guest on, it's all about the guest. I want to hear his story. I want to hear how he made it, as opposed to just people hearing me. When I interview, I don't talk so much. I want my guest to talk. I want my guest to share his knowledge. And my style is a little different because I hear interviewers or interviews, and too many of them interrupt their guest, cut off their guest. Some of them want really short answers. But it's not about, to me, it's not about the host. It's about the guest. The guest is the one that's bringing the knowledge and the value. I've interviewed people that have made combined, trillions of dollars between them. You want to hear from them. You want to hear from these stars. I call them elite entrepreneurs. It's not like they're government or, anything like that, but they're just at the top of their category. So I had to look for what words could I use to describe somebody at the top of their category. So I coined the term elite entrepreneur, and some other people use it now, which is fine. I'm happy that they use it. I started it, elite entrepreneurs, and we want to hear from them. So my style is different, and I'm very curious. When I interview a guest, I usually, I didn't used to, but I usually meet them very briefly beforehand, just to get a little bit so that it's not a cold interview. When I used to do interviews, I wanted to be, I never met the person, I never spoke with them, and sometimes my interviews are cold. We don't know each other. It's warm. It's awkward. So I realized I needed to speak with the person just to get to know each other. Hey, I'm Italian, I was born in Italy. I grew up in Chicago, blah, blah, blah. And it just becomes a little bit better when we're live on camera, on the air, on whatever. And so, but not too much. It's like if I learn everything about the guest that I can, which I've also done, I'm no longer interested in them. And that also makes for a cold interview. So I found the balance. I meet with the guest really fast, 5 minutes. I get to know them. I get to know about what's going on. And then that's it. And they want to give me all this information about them. And I say, wait until I do the interview. Then we can get all your information. Because if you tell me now, you're not going to tell me later. And this is good stuff. So There's a line there. Just get enough information from your guest so that you're friendly with them, so that you know each other. And then leave the rest for genuine, authentic, on air interest and curiosity, because that's what people like. That's what's being real, is that you're genuine, you care, you're interested, and I'm really interested. I learn so much from my guests. Now, I wouldn't learn all this if I thought I knew it all, or if I did most of the talking. Hey, these are people, these are millionaires and billionaires, Sai. They're coming to spend time with me. I should give them the time of day and learn from them their wisdom. So I become mentored 1 to 2 hours a week by some of the top, brightest entrepreneurs in the world. Think about that. So that's pretty cool. So that's why my style is my style. If you go to DUrso.com, you can click on the podcast link and hear all my shows all the way back to day one on Revenue Chat Radio. It's all there in my catalog.
So, what is your favorite interview that you did?
Now, that's a really tough question because I'm Italian. And little joke perhaps, I always want to do better. I always want to do best. I always want it to be a great, engaging, thought provoking, insightful interview. So my last interview is always my best because I'm always putting everything into it to be the best, and sometimes it doesn't come out well. Often I come out of an interview and I say, hey, that was my best interview I ever did in my life. It was so good. I do that a lot. But sometimes, because I didn't have things right, it's not a good interview. Every once in a while, I'm not happy with my interviews. But normally, I try very hard to let the guests talk, and the guests tell me, they say, Tony, most podcasters cut them off so much they never have a chance to say all that they want to say. They love the interview. And that makes me very happy. And that makes a great interview. So it's always my last one.
So, God gave you this opportunity to live on this planet and to use your skill called communication. And can I say you're doing it very well? And that's why the reason you're seeing very big number.
Oh, absolutely. My podcast, the growth of my show, 100% is from God. God steers my life, and I've realized that this is what I'm supposed to do. This is my purpose. This is where I'm at, and it's all because of God. God directs me, and to such a point that if I try to bring on a guest that's not a good guest, something happens. And I've learned the hard way that if I have difficulty bringing a guest on my show, that it's not meant for me. And I believe that. And I get great offers. I get great guest offers. I get great sponsors, and it just rolls. And it is 100% thanks to God. Truth be his name. Everything is provided by God. He wants me to do a good show. Now, I've been looking for things for a very, very, very long time. I've been in businesses, I've started companies, I've been the VP sales and marketing, I've been the CEO. I've done all sorts of things in all sorts of fields and run all sorts of companies. And I've written some books too. But it wasn't until I started podcasting that I realized this is my calling. This is what God wants me to do. This is where it's at. This is what's needed. This is what's wanted. This is my purpose, my goal, I have a vision of reaching the world and helping the world. And this is what God wants me to do. And it's 100% him. As long as I stay on my path, everything just magically opens. I get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of emails every month asking to be on my show. This is God. I get sponsors a lot, regularly coming wanting to put commercials on my show. This is all from God. It's the most amazing, self-sustaining business, and I can do it anywhere in the world. And if you are podcasting out there, I can teach you how to have and make a world class podcast if that's what you want. If you podcast out there and you want to get a lot of people listening to your show, I can help you because I do social media marketing. If you want to grow your influence in Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, I can grow that for you because I do that. I do influencer marketing as well. But this is all from God. You see, years ago, God had me start a company, and I became VP sales and marketing. And I learned a lot about lead generation, so much that I then formed my own company and became CEO of a lead generation company. And I did that for 7 years. And then I got into podcasting, and I use all that knowledge that I've learned about lead generation and getting people interested and engaged and active. And it's a very different landscape today. The algorithms, logarithms, all the rules, protocols have changed over the years. Facebook last year, the way to advertise on them is different than today and everywhere else. But there are basics that are still the basics, and I know those basics. And with God's help, they work really, really well. And I'm able to help make anybody shine in there as an influencer or as a podcaster. I am able to help a lot. There's a whole page on it on my website, TonyDUrso.com. Click on the grow link, GROW, and I help people that way as well. So, but yes, it's 100% God. When you have God in your life, when you're on purpose with God, when you're in sync, when you understand that this is God, it's not you, it's not magic, it's not baloney, it's not numbers, it's not anything. It is God. When you realize that, it changes everything and makes your life better and better. It's even hard to describe. It will take me years to tell you about God. Well, I don't really mean it that way, but it'll take some time because He's so incredible. And so, yes, I'm very deeply indebted to God, and I'm so grateful. I thank God every day, often, throughout the day, for the opportunities that He gives me. And it's that gratitude to God, not that you want it, but God appreciates that and gives you more. So I get my audience, my sponsors, I get everything from God. It's a great partnership.
You are a influencer by yourself, and you are interviewing a lot of influencers uh, who are creating impact and who are changing the world in different fields. So presenting them, asking them questions, asking something that they did in their lives, and putting it out, and you are doing more than what I did. Like, people like me, youngsters who don't know how they made things possible. You, with your questions, with your observations, with your analytical skills, with your understanding, you're presenting it. How is this happening? And what is that great quality in you is pushing you do great things?
I think the answer to that question is again goes back to God. When you focus on that God is behind everything. Now you see, there's been so many lies in the world, misconceptions, falsehoods, half truths, that it gets very confusing. Who's God? What's God? There's religions. There's multiple religions. I don't preach the Bible. There's over 200 editions of the Bible. What? It's just so confusing. So it makes it very difficult to understand. But when you start latching on and not letting go that there's God and that He's important, and you start going down that road, it really just starts opening things up. And until I really realized that, I was not having a great time as a podcaster. It wasn't magic. It didn't shoot up. I've had so many excessive and extensive difficulties podcasting that multiple times, at least three, I wanted to give up and go get a job somewhere. I just had it. I had some serious problems. I had trouble trying to make ends meet, be sustainable. I had issues. Even though I had lots of audience, there were some major problems in it, and I had to learn the hard way. Because I'm Italian, I just jump in and do something, and then find out what my mistakes are and change it. And that's kind of how I go. So I had what's called I when I started, I created my vision, my purpose, my long-term objective, and it's called the Vision Map. And there's a new book coming out in a couple months on Amazon called Creating Your Vision. It's a really good book. You should stay tuned to my website for news of that book. A couple months. It's an all new book with all sorts of stuff. We're going to come out with some classes. But it's when you understand these points, your vision, your purpose, your long term objective, and there's 8 points. When you understand them, you can be successful in anything you do in business, no matter what. Now, it sounds, it's going to go over your head or in one ear and out the other, because I may as well have just said, hey, Cy, take some eggs, take some milk, take some water, take some vanilla, take some chocolate, take some yeast, and make a great chocolate souffle. Okay, go ahead. I'm waiting. You're like, what? But wait, Cy, you know the words. We all know the words, but how to use them. Who in your audience can just never made a chocolate souffle before, can take those words right now, go in the kitchen and make one? You can't. It's not possible. So just the words by themselves go over the head or through the ears, because it doesn't mean anything. So I teach the 8 key words to success in my Vision Map book. And when you read that and apply it, I'll give you an example. I took a student, and he was doing 5 sales a month, 5 a month on Amazon of a fitness product. Just 5 a month, that's it. And he said, Tony, I really need some help. And I said, okay. So we worked on the Vision Map. In the second month, not after 2 months, but maybe like 6 weeks in, he was up to 12 sales a day. 5 a month to 12 a day. I may have mentioned this on the last show, but that's the power of the Vision Map. When you have your vision, your purpose, your objective, your strategy, your master plan, when you have these things in place, it changes everything. Then, because it's teaching you how to make a very delicious chocolate souffle. And most people, all my students, 100% have gone on to big success. I taught a podcaster how to make his chocolate souffle, and I would say in his first year, he was hitting 1 million downloads a year. He's over 3 million now. So the stuff works, the stuff is important, and there's no emotion or I feel good or I feel bad or is the wind blowing this way, or there's nothing of that. It's just straight technology. Do this and you get that. Do this and do this. It's just like a recipe. Mix this and mix this and mix this and cook this and do this, and boom, you have a delicious chocolate souffle. And by the way back when I was in the corporate world, when I toured the world, one of my little things on the side, there weren't video cameras back then or cell phones. Not that I would have videoed it, but one of my things was, who's got the best chocolate souffle in the world? So everywhere I would go, I would always eat at restaurants that have chocolate souffles. Great. So I got really into chocolate souffles as well as other fine foods, but it was just this hobby. And I'll tell you, no two places made the same chocolate souffle. but they were all great. They were all wonderful. And there's certain ways to make them really, really, really good. And if you want to make a good chocolate souffle or a good podcast, or be good at your business with technology or coding or digital or graphics or marketing, the vision map will take you to the top of your category, will take you way up there. I guarantee the vision map, it's 100% guaranteed. It will take you way up there if you follow it, just like making a good chocolate souffle.
So you're asking so many questions to the influencers, and you're listening to them, and you're understanding their story. And how do you feel? Not every human being on this planet will get opportunity that you got, because I can see you also wrote so many books, and you worked as a CEO, and you worked in different positions in your before career. So how all these things are? Do you feel that you're very lucky to do this and give back to the world what you earn?
I am extremely fortunate. I don't even know how I was blessed by God, and I've been told don't focus on it, just accept it. Somehow I got blessed by God, and he put his hand on me, and my podcast career has just gone so wonderful. And I'm Italian. I've mentioned that before. So what does that mean to me? And I could be wrong. I think I'm simple. You know, I've got food in my refrigerator. I've got gas in my vehicles. My wife is happy. My dog is happy. To me, it's a perfect life. I'm happy. So what do I do? So I want to, because I'm Italian, and because I have a lot or a surplus, I help others. And about 5 years ago, I made a switch, because prior to 5 years ago, I was helping and giving, buying toys for kids, just doing humanitarian things, buying toys for kids, delivering toys to kids in hospitals, things like that. And it's very nice. And I used to do that year after year after year after year. And that's a lot of fun to see smiley, happy kids. And what happened about 5 years ago, Cy, is the homeless population was growing and growing and growing in my city. And I was like, and I looked around one year and I said, I should be helping them. They need food, they need shoes, they need clothes, they need toiletries, they need water. And I started visiting with them, and I realized I need to help them, as opposed to just buying toys and giving it to kids, which is still a great thing. And these homeless people have children there, and they had animals. And I thought, I got to start helping them. So I put together a little drive, and it went viral in the community. The day of the and I realized that they're not homeless. They're not indigent. See, I can't even say that word. Indigent. They're not. They're our neighbors. So I started calling them our neighbors. So I did a big event. My own money, and I've had a couple volunteers help as well. And we gave them hot food and toiletries and sleeping bags and shirts and blouses and pants and sweatpants and jackets and blankets and water and just all sorts of stuff. And hundreds of people showed up to also help and join and give. And we took care of easily over 1,000 people. And the news came and the press came, and I made first page on the news. And it was just such a rewarding event that I continued doing that every year for 5 years. Throughout the year, helping people, helping feed, helping pay for medical expenses, helping pay for surgeries with whatever I can do. It's just me. Whatever I can do with some volunteers, whatever I could do, I do. And in 5 years, we passed out I think it's over 125,000 meals. Yeah. Just us, just myself and a couple volunteers. We passed out a lot of meals, helped a lot of families, and other things we help with. Just other things, there's a taxi driver in another country, and he has 8 kids. And he was so nice to my friend that he touched my heart that I just sent him $50. Just sent him 50 American dollars, which in that country goes a long way. So I just would do that wherever I could with whatever means I had. And then this is for 5 years, all on my own. Never asked anybody to give me any money for it. Now it's grown. I've got more people asking, more people asking, more people to help, that I created and made it into an actual official charity called the Southgate Foundation. And if you go to DUrso.com, you'll see on the nav bar, you'll see Southgate. Click that. There's a little video. It tells you the same story I'm telling you now. And I'm asking, I've got more people to help and feed and give food to. So help us out. $25, whatever you can, $100, whatever you can. We will buy food and give it to people. But there's a little bit of a difference on that. You know, most charities, underlined MOST, most charities are baloney. They take the money, they put it in their pocket, they pay you're paying for their helicopters, their fancy cars, and their annual golf memberships. And I'm not joking, and I'm sorry to say that. I'm really sorry to say that. Most charities just take the money. When we give out, we give it out to somebody with boots on the ground, or we give it out ourselves. I make sure that the food or the help or the supplies goes to the people intended. In Africa right now, there's a country that get tons of aid. I mean tons. I mean planefuls, planes coming in with cargo of food and water and this and that, by so much you wouldn't believe it. And I know from people on the ground, that the government takes those shipments, puts it in a warehouse, and sells it. And that food, that aid, does not go to the people intended. It's a true story, and I'm not going to name anybody. So I do it different. I have to know you, and I have to trust you, and you have to be my friend, and then I will give you funds to distribute and buy food for people, and then you send back photographs and evidence. And this is how I build my network. We just don't send money to people unless we're positive it gets to their hand. None of this government taking the stuff and doing whatever they want. None of our stuff gets bought and sold. It goes to the people. And right now, our goal is to hit 250,000 meals. That includes children, that includes pet. And we focus on widows, widowers, people that are invalid, people that are handicapped, orphans. We focus on people that really, how can you say who needs help and who doesn't? So we try to focus on these people I've just listed off that we feel need probably more help because there's more against them. So we try to help them. And if you go to TonyDUrso.com and go to the Southgate tab, you'll read more about it. And, if you want to help, great. I thank you so much. And that's what happens to your funds.
So this is completely different from what you are doing.
It's completely different from podcast, from book sales, from writing books, from doing classes. But like I said, when I have what I need to live, then it's just helping other people from there. And this is what God wants me to do.
So what is your favorite thing that you do?
Talk to people like you. Talk to people that care. Talk to people that I can help.
So
If
what
that's
is the
what you
biggest
meant.
yeah, go on.
If that's what you meant, I mean, I have. If you're looking for hobbies, We have a couple hobbies. We're currently building our house right now. In it's like a forest. We're building our house, and we're loving that. And one of the biggest fun things we do, which is my wife and I, we read every night. And what we do is we read to each other. We read two different books, and we read out loud to, and then take a couple pages or a chapter, and then when we're done, we pick up the next book and we read that, and we do that every night uh, for an hour or two, and it's very rewarding. It's better than watching news and getting all caught up in world politics or craziness that's happening, and it makes for a very peaceful life. And by the way, my wife and I, we've been together almost 30 years.
So you did so many jobs. What is your favorite job?
Podcasting, interviewing successful elite entrepreneurs. I love it. I've been in marketing, sales, advertising, promotion for many years in many jobs as I've gone along. And I think it was all training so that I do this and I can share a lot of knowledge and wisdom because I've been in so many types of business. And but my most favorite, and I think it's because I'm Italian and I can talk, my most favorite is talking and interviewing and doing what I call a show, and helping to share that with the world. That's just, it's so rewarding. Now, for you in the audience, if you've ever had a child, if you ever built something with your own hands, you built something. If you ever created a beautiful piece of art, a beautiful work of art, you created a meal, you created your own shoes or clothes. When you create something with your hands and somebody appreciates it, there's a reward that only those that have made things by themselves understand. And for me, podcasting gives that to me. I've created this. I invented this, not invented, but I founded this. I put it together. I slaved, I worked, I found what works, I found what doesn't. And I've got this baby, my show. It's just so wonderful when you do that, and it gives you such a good feeling. And then you add on top of it that God wants you to do this and you're helping God's people. It's just so wonderful.
So why this is happening for you? You are into different things. Uh, why only that happened to you? Have you ever thought that if I didn't went to that particular place on that day, what would be I am, and how many people would miss my contribution?
That is a beautiful question because it's so true. You know, in life, life is not perfect for anybody, period. You get diversions, you get barriers, you get obstacles, you get happiness, you get sadness, you get all sorts of things. It's all training. And you wind up navigating like with a map, but you don't know that there's a map and that you're moving on a map. You're either moving closer to God and closer to your purpose or away from Him. And God puts up barriers sometimes. I've had some harsh barriers and just boom, stop what you're doing. Life is crumbling all around you. And and you have to realize that that's not where you're supposed to go. And all these things I've done in my life have resulted in what I do now very well and very successfully because because of what I've learned. And but back then when it's happening and you lose a deal, you lose money, you lose a business, you lose a job, you lose a house, you lose whatever you lose, you don't think that. But when you come through, you look at it and you go, this is a great, amazing experience and knowledge, and you realize how fortunate you are. And you have to start paying attention. And what I do now, I didn't know this before, but when something goes wrong multiple times, I stop it. Now, back in the old days, I would like a bull, just bulldoze through and or a train and just keep at it and keep at it and keep at it. I don't do that anymore. If something doesn't work 2 times, I don't even go a third time. Now that's contrary to popular opinion. Try until you succeed. I used to say that. I've got it in my shows. I used to say that, but I've learned it's different because when it flows easy, that's where I'm supposed to go. And that's a hard lesson. That's really hard because we're taught in our brain, keep trying, keep trying. And I keep saying that too, keep trying. But keep trying if you're hitting your head on a wall and you've got a bad headache and your head hurts and it's got a bump on your head. When I say keep trying, I don't mean keep hitting that head on the wall. If you're trying to podcast and have a great show, look at how you're doing it and perhaps find another way to do it. And there's your secret sauce. So there's the keep at it. If you're being wounded and bleeding, try another way. And that was a lesson I've learned the hard way. And when things go right and easy, I know I'm on the path and it just rolls. And there comes a time in your life where everything just comes to you automatically. And that's how it is for me now. Sponsors come, interviewers come, the money comes, it just rolls. It just rolls. It just rolls all by itself. I just show up with my cup of coffee and everything just happens. But it takes being on the right path to God that makes that happen. And for some people, it may be over your head or may go in one ear and out the other. But when you get on that path, it all just opens up. And then you realize that all the issues you've had, all the jobs, all the trouble, all the problems, all the good, all the bad in your life now comes to this great point, to this where you are now, so that you can be so good at what you do. And if you are good at what you do, and if you think you're good at what you do, how about if you add God, the real God, the one true one of all creation, to that? Not something else, because we've all been lied to or tricked with or confused by so many different versions of God and gods and the universe. But when you start pondering it, you're not going to learn it from me. You're going to learn it from you. You're going to learn it, not me. Just you start pondering it, and it just starts opening up and starts opening up and starts opening up. Who is God and what he does? And then you realize that all your life has been a training for this. And all these things you've done now lead to you being even better and even more successful. I hope that gives you a good answer, but I firmly believe I have been led, even though I didn't know it, I've been led to do what I am doing now. This is God's will. God has a will. Ponder it, think about it. And it spreads over a long, long period of time. And it's not like, him putting milk or food in your refrigerator today. It's him putting milk and food in your refrigerator for life, for eternity. And it's broad. And when you start on that, it changes it improves everything. So if you think you're successful, think about God. I guarantee it, you will be more successful.
So you're a very big person. You're a very big influencer. You're impacting human beings. So what is valuable for you?
What's valuable for me? Friendship, people, people that appreciate it. If you like what I'm saying, please go to Apple Podcasts, formerly known as iTunes. Look up the Tony DUrso Show. Give me a kind review on my show. That's how I know that I've done something good, is by reviews, and that you like it. Or hit me up on Twitter, Tony DUrso on Twitter. Reach out to me. I try to answer everybody myself, but I have hundreds of thousands of social media followers, and it's a little hard to answer everything myself, but I try, and I have people helping me. But just stay there, and I'm happy to make friends. I do that all day long, just making friends, and that is so rewarding. And I'm not sure if that answered your question or not, but when you get feedback from others, just like I was talking about earlier, when you have a baby or you create something, when you get feedback from others, you're doing good, and you put more gas. You put your foot on that pedal. You give more gas to the engine, and that's really important. So, if you appreciate what I'm doing, reach out to Cy, give him some comments, some thumbs up. Give him a review. Interact, because he's working so hard to bring people to help you. You didn't ask him. You didn't pay him. He's just out there going, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you. And he brings guests on that will share their wisdom and knowledge with you. So reach out to him and tell him that you really appreciate that. Tune into his show every time it airs and share it with your friends, because friends help friends succeed. So if you like what you're hearing from Cy on Smart Cherry, tell some friends. Help them succeed too. That's what's so important. And by friends helping friends, we all get a lot of more knowledge. Because face it, you cannot read everybody's book, listen to everybody's podcast, watch everybody's video, take everybody's class, listen to everybody's speech in your lifetime. It's not possible. It just isn't. So people like Cy curate, they take ideal people that will help you the most, and they interview them. And this is done for you, and you don't have to pay me a penny. Nothing. I don't ask for anything. I would appreciate a review, and if you want to help me in my charity to feed people around the world in impoverished areas, I welcome you to help with that. But there's no obligation. There's no commitment. Whatever is in your heart, do what's in your heart. But we put these shows on for you, and we really appreciate knowing that you care, that you like them. So give us a review. Tell us that, hey, this is good. If you have any feedback, good, bad, or whatever, tell us. We appreciate it, because our next show, our next interview, we want to do even better. So come on, give us a help, give us a hand, engage and interact, and tell us how we can help you better in your life and your business.
I'll put your web links in the description of this video. People who finds our video on YouTube can see it, and also people who are listening to us on podcast from anywhere on this planet, they will also see the interesting work that you're doing, and also they can see the contribution that you're doing to the planet.
Yes. Thank you.
And yeah, and Tony, what is your observation about my work?
My observation about your work, I think I said it in the last answer, is just people like you, we get up and we live to help other people and share knowledge and wisdom. And I'm not the smartest person in the world. We're not by ourselves complete with everything. So we bring on people to help, because there's a lot to it in business, in life, in relationships. And I think you're doing a fantastic job, because you care. You're out there, you're working at it, you're trying, you're figuring out what works, what doesn't work, just like everybody else, and you're trying to do better and better and better and help more and more people. And that's just amazing. And keep on doing it, no matter what, and you will see great success from it, because you're on your purpose. You're doing your purpose. You're on the path, and that's what's so important.
It's really valuable for me, Tony. I want you to continue doing the great work, and also keep inspiring youngsters like me, and make things possible.
The honor is mine. I thank you so much for having me on your show, Smart Cherry, and I really look forward to growing. You're a good friend, and I look forward to hearing from you again and again, and from your audience. Please reach out. This is a world where we're supposed to talk. There's no masks here. Nobody's shutting you up. You can talk to us. We want to hear from you.
Can I put this video on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Absolutely.
And also, can I put this audio and video on my podcast, website, internet, social media, everywhere with your permission?
Yes, you can. Please go ahead and share.
Thank you, Tony, for your valuable time again.
The honor is mine. I thank you so much. Thank you for having me on your show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.